Okay, 5.3. This is when we're going to start looking at some graphs and we're going to put everything together. So we're going to start with the fun chart. Fun chart. The chart. We're going to have 3 rows to the chart. It's going to go F. It's going to look like this, concave up, concave down. So it looks like it spells the word fun. The fun chart. Now, this is for f of x. So this means that f of x is increasing, right? Looks like it has a positive slope. When f of x is increasing, the first derivative is positive. Now, we had all those sentences that we were trying to remember last class. The fun chart organizes all the sentences, okay? So when f of x is decreasing, f prime is negative, which means there's negative tangent slopes. All right, so now, okay, f prime row, we're going to draw increasing, and then we're going to draw decreasing. And then we're going to make a double prime row. And when we look at our second derivative, okay, so I have this box. Okay. F of x is increasing, and so the derivative is positive, because when you do the derivative, which means you go down one level, it describes tangent slope. So right here, look at this. If it's increasing, the derivative is positive. When something is increasing, it doesn't matter what's increasing, the derivative is positive. Okay? When something is decreasing, the derivative is negative. So now I'm going to show you how you can get your sentences from this chart, because the chart's pretty easy to remember to write, and then you just have to learn how to read the chart. Okay, so the columns go together. So I'm going to start with the first column. F of x is increasing. I'm just going to go by columns. F of x increasing. F prime is positive because it matches up. Okay, so now I'm going to do column 2, right? Column 2. F of x is decreasing. F prime, I'm going straight down, is negative. Because if you can remember to write the chart, then you don't have to memorize those sentences. It kind of just organizes it for you. So column 1, column 2, column 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Notice I have 3 things here. So f of x is concave up, comma. I'm going to go down one spot. F prime is increasing. Is increasing, comma. Keep going down the column. Double prime is positive. All 3 of those things are connected. Usually, we just connect this part. Usually we say f of x is concave up, double prime is positive. What do you need? Oh, yeah. Right?
No problem.
Okay, usually we just say this, but now we've got this extra F prime sentence in the middle here that is like connected to that. Okay, because the chart helps me connect all three of these pieces. Now I'm going to do the fourth column. F of x is concave down. Okay, I'm going to go straight down, comma. F prime is decreasing. Double prime is negative. Whew, that was easier than trying to write all those sentences or memorize them. Like, that's it. Okay, so usually we're used to looking at just this part. Concave down, double prime negative. The chart helps us connect this F prime is decreasing part. Okay, I'm going to write 2 more sentences. Okay, and I'm going to highlight what I'm going to look at. Now, you can actually rearrange these columns any way. You can put them in any order you want. Okay, I just start it like this because the fun chart. Notice that all the increasings are followed by a plus. All the decreasings are followed by a minus. So I'm going to look at the between spot. I'm going to look at the between spot. So what happens between? 0, right? Zeros happen between pluses and minuses. Okay. F of x has a what? A maximum, right? It looks like a maximum, a top of a point. Okay, has a max because what happens? Okay, F prime is 0 and F prime positive to negative because it's in between, so it's changing. Okay, those in-betweens, right? The columns still work. This is just a maximum. What's the tangent slope? This is a horizontal tangent. F of x has a horizontal tangent, same as a max or a min. Okay. It's a lot of brain power today because like analyzing and using the chart, it's a lot of if, then this is happening. Okay, so now I'm going to look at this in between spot. Okay, I'm going to look at a possible point of inflection, right? A point of inflection is between the concavity. Okay, so F of x has, yep, let me zoom this out a wee bit. Okay, F of x has, I'm going to move this bar so we can see, a point of inflection. Okay, so we're going to look at each row as we go down. So I have a point of inflection. So what's happening? F prime, what's happening to F prime? Has a max, has a maximum. Look, that's the top of a hill. Has a maximum because, right, which is also known as a horizontal tangent. Okay, go down one more row. Double prime equals 0. What's happening here? Double prime equals 0. And changes concave up to concave down. I guess I could write that down here. Double prime equals 0 and double prime positive to negative. There you go. Okay. The in-betweens are the hardest ones to interpret, okay? Now, as you're interpreting this, you can rearrange the columns to fit the needs of whatever it is you're looking at, okay? Sorry, let me see if I can make this happen. There we go. Okay. I'm going to do an example. And I'm going to write my little fun chart up there, and I'm going to like circle what I'm looking for. See that back. No, you're good.
Can I still white out again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at writing and I'm doing it in time.
Okay. All right, I'm going to flip my page because I don't have a lot of room left here. Okay. Okay, example. Here we go. There it is. Find where f prime is increasing. That's the question. And I'm going to tell you that f prime equals x cubed plus 12x squared plus 36x. Now, in order to answer the question, I'm like, what sentence do I write? Okay, well, you can write the fun chart, and the fun chart's going to help you write your sentence. Okay, so F, U, N. F prime plus minus up, down. Double prime plus minus. Woo, fun chart. And then I'm just going to figure out what it's asking me for. It's asking me where f prime is increasing. So I'm going to look at my chart, and I'm going to find where f prime is increasing. So f prime increasing. That's this one. That puts you in the third column. So now that I have the third column identified, I'm going to write my sentence. Okay, so, and I'm going to start with f prime because that's what it wants. F prime is increasing somewhere because. So I'm in this column right here. Now, we're in calculus, guys. We do derivatives. We go down. So I'm going to go down to right here. Double prime is positive because double prime is positive. So the fun chart helps you get your sentences. You just have to know how to, like, use it. All right, I know what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to do it. Now, when you're doing this, the only thing you can find is the number lines, the pluses and minuses. That's the only things that we can do. Okay, so you're always doing a number line, and then you're going to interpret. All right, so I need the second derivative. right? If I'm going to do the number line, I got to factor it. Okay, so I get x equals, and I get the second derivative number line. Right? The number line is what you can find. All right, let's plug in. Okay. Finding them. Okay. So I'm going to test -7, -3, and I'm going to test, I'll test 0. Okay, so -7. All right, so I'm plugging in -1, -5, so that's positive. So I'm going to test -3. So that's negative, okay, and 0, that's positive. Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for this column here. I want to know where the second derivative is positive. That's my answer, where the second derivative is positive. So now that I've done my number line, I can answer the question. So where x is less than -6 or x is more than -2. If you want interval notation, you could do that as well. Just remember the unions. Okay, they're both acceptable answers. Okay, so that's how your fun chart works. It helps you write your sentences. All right. All right, so, oh, I gotta zoom back up. Hold on. Okay, relative maximum. So I'm gonna write my chart, a relative maximum of f of x. So I'm gonna say that needs to go increasing to decreasing because that creates a maximum. That means f prime is positive to negative. Now I'm not going to write columns 3 or 4. Okay, so in order to answer this, the only thing that we can do is the pluses or minuses. That's the number line. So as I'm looking at this, I need to find relative maximum. That is the middle. See that? It's in between. It's a point. And so I need to look for f of x has a max at a particular spot because f prime plus 2 minus or positive to negative. All right, so let's find the first derivative. 2x to the fourth minus 20x cubed plus 48x squared. So I'm going to take out the 2x squared as the GCF. and I'm going to factor. Okay, and then I'm going to keep factoring, so that's minus 6 and minus 4. Okay, so on my number line, I'm going to get 0, 6, and 4, because I'm looking for this in-between spot. Okay, so first derivative number line. I get 0, 4, and 6. Okay, so now I have to test it. So I'm going to try like x equals negative 1. So that gives me positive, negative, negative. So this is positive. Okay, so now I'm going to test positive 1. So that's positive, negative, negative. So that's still positive. Okay, so now I'm going to test x equals 5. So that's positive, negative, positive. So this is negative. Okay, and then I do x equals 7. Okay, so if I do x equals 7, I get positive. I'm plugging into the factored version here, guys. 7 squared, 49. So that's positive, positive, positive. So it's positive. Okay, which part of this number line am I looking for? I'm looking for the between. So plus to minus. It's right here. That's the answer, because I want to know where the f prime goes positive to negative. So it's in between. So my answer, the x coordinate, 4. Just the x number. Cross my fingers. Woo! Okay. What other question do you guys want to see? Whole 5.2? Okay, here we go. Let's do a 5.2. Next section. Hey, anybody want to see this question? No, no. All right, here we go. Next one. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to write my fun chart. F, up, down, U, N, plus, minus, up, down, plus, minus, prime, double prime. Okay, what am I looking for? So where f of x is concave down. So that's this one. So I want to know where f of x is concave down. So that puts me in the last column here. That's what I want to know. All right, so I'm going to write my sentence. So f of x is concave down if double prime, because I like the number line, is positive. You can only answer the questions with your number line. So you're trying to figure out where your pluses and minuses are. Better. Okay? You want to know where your pluses and minuses are. Let's see if I can erase that. Okay, so let's find it. So I need to start with the first derivative. 4 over 6x cubed plus 15x squared plus 100x. But I need the second derivative, so here's my second derivative. 2x squared plus 30x plus 100. So I need to find the zeros because I need the number line. Okay, so I get x plus 10 and x plus 5. So my second derivative number line says I have negative 5, let's try negative 10 and negative 5. So you have to test it. All right, so let's try x equals negative 11. So I get 2 times negative 1 times negative 6. So that's positive. All right, let's try negative 6. So we get 2 times 4 times, so this is negative. Let's try 0. 10 times 5, so that's positive. Okay, what am I looking for? I was looking for this part here. Concave down when double prime is negative. Okay, so this is my answer between negative 10 and negative 5. Okay, so between negative 10 and negative 5. Okay. What other questions would you like to see? This one? Yep. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to write my fun chart and figure out what I'm looking for. All right, so we have F, increase, decrease, up, down, plus, minus, up, down, plus, minus. Let's try that, actual minus. Okay, subtract. F prime, F double prime. So I want to find out where f of x is decreasing and concave down. So I want this one. Okay, so that's decreasing and concave down. So I have two number lines. All you're going to do is find the number line and use it to interpret the answer. Okay, so I need to find the f prime number line. All right, so f prime equals 8x cubed plus 48x squared plus 72x. All right, so I'm going to do the f prime number line. I'm going to factor out the 8x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, so I get right, so we get x equals 0, so f prime. So I get negative 3 and 0. Okay, so I'm trying to plug this in. So I get negative. No. Yeah, negative, negative, positive. All right, now I have to do the second derivative. Okay, double prime. 24x squared plus 96x plus 72. Whew, I'm going to take out the 24. Okay, x plus 3, x plus 1. Okay, double derivative number line. I get negative 3 and negative 1. And I test it. So this one goes positive, negative, positive. Notice how I sort of lined it up? Okay, so what am I looking for? I'm looking for where f prime is negative. So I want this part. Okay, so I want this part. I also want where concave down. So that's where double prime is negative. So my question is, where do these two things overlap? These two things overlap right here. That's where they overlap. And so it would be negative 3 to negative 1. So your answer would be between negative 3 and negative 1.